Every time you turn on the hot water in your house, a whole hidden system springs into action. You don't see it, you don't think about it, but somewhere in your basement, garage, or a small closet, a machine is working right now to make sure your shower doesn't run cold. Today you're going to see exactly how it works, from start to finish in simple terms anyone can understand. Let's start with the most common type found in homes, the tank water heater. It looks like a big metal cylinder, usually painted white or grey, about the size of a large trash can standing upright. Inside that cylinder is a large tank, typically holding somewhere between 30 and 50 gallons of water. That tank is almost always full. Even when you're not using hot water, it's sitting there ready. Cold water enters the tank through a pipe called the deep tube. This pipe runs from the top of the tank down to near the bottom, so incoming cold water gets delivered to the bottom of the tank instead of mixing in at the top. That matters because hot water rises and cold water sinks. By feeding cold water to the bottom, the tank keeps the hottest water sitting near the top, right where it needs to be when you turn on a faucet. Now here's where the heating actually happens. If you have a gas water heater, there's a burner at the very bottom of the tank. A thermostat monitors the water temperature, and when it drops below your set point, the gas valve opens, the burner ignites, and the flame hits the bottom of the tank. The heat rises up through the water and through a flue that runs up the center of the tank, carrying exhaust safely out through a vent pipe and out of your home. If you have an electric water heater instead, there's no flame at all. Instead, one or two heating elements, which look like metal rods, sit inside the tank itself, submerged directly in the water. Electricity runs through them. They heat up and the heat transfers directly into the water around them. Most electric units have two elements, one near the top, one near the bottom, so they can heat the tank efficiently in stages. Either way, gas or electric, the goal is the same. Heat the water, hold it at your set temperature, and keep it ready. So what happens when you actually turn on the hot tap? The moment you open the hot water faucet anywhere in your house, pressure from your home's water supply pushes on the tank. That pressure forces the hot water sitting near the top of the tank out through the hot water outlet pipe, up and out toward your faucet or shower. At the very same moment, cold water flows in through the deep tube to replace it. The tank never runs empty during this process. It's constantly being refilled as it's being drained. If you use hot water for a long time, eventually the incoming cold water lowers the average temperature enough that the thermostat kicks the heater back on to catch up. There are a few other parts working quietly to keep the whole system safe. Near the top of the tank, you'll find the temperature and pressure relief valve, often just called the TMP valve. This is a safety device. If the pressure or temperature inside the tank ever climbs to a dangerous level, this valve automatically opens and releases water to relieve the pressure, preventing the tank from rupturing. At the very bottom, there's a drain valve. This is what plumbers and homeowners use to periodically flush the tank, draining out sediment and mineral buildup that naturally settles at the bottom over time. Skipping this maintenance step is one of the most common reasons water heaters fail early. And running down the outside of the tank is the anode rod, sometimes called the sacrificial rod. It's usually made of magnesium or aluminum wrapped around a steel core. Its entire job is to corrode instead of your tank. Through a process called electrolysis, corrosive elements in the water attack the rod first, protecting the steel tank walls from rusting through. Over years, the rod wears away, and once it's gone, the tank itself becomes the next target for corrosion. Now, not every home uses a tank system. A growing number of houses use a tankless water heater instead, and the concept is completely different. A tankless unit doesn't store any hot water at all. Instead, it's a compact box, usually mounted on a wall, that heats water instantly as it flows through. When you open a hot water tap, a flow sensor inside the unit detects the water movement and immediately activates either a gas burner or an electric heating element. As the water passes through a heat exchanger inside the unit. It's heated in seconds, then sent straight out to your faucet. Once you turn off the tap, the unit simply turns off. There's no tank sitting there, no standing water being kept warm around the clock. This is why tankless systems are often marketed as more energy efficient. A traditional tank spends energy keeping water hot, even when nobody's using it. A tankless unit only uses energy the moment you actually need hot water, but tankless systems have limits too. They're excellent for continuous use, so you're far less likely to run out of hot water during a long shower. But their output is measured by flow rate, meaning if too many hot water fixtures run at the same time, like a shower and a dishwasher and a washing machine all at once, the unit may struggle to keep up with demands. So which system is better depends on the household. A larger family that uses a lot of hot water simultaneously often benefits from a tankless system's endless supply. A smaller household with more predictable spread out usage might do just fine with a traditional tank. Either way, the next time you step into a hot shower, you'll know exactly what's happening behind that wall. Cold water flowing in, heat being added, either by flame or by electricity. Pressure pushing hot water exactly where you need it. And a handful of quiet safety devices making sure the whole system runs smoothly, day after day, without you ever having to think about it. That's how a water heater works, from start to finish in simple terms anyone can understand.